Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through my August TBR with y'all. I have 5 books on my TBR and a lot of them are big, thick fantasy books, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through every single one of these books, but they are ones that I have been looking forward to all year. The first book I know I'm going to be getting to is Red Country by Joe Abercrombie because I am buddy reading this with some of my patrons and friends. I'm just trying to finish out the series. This is the 3rd book in his Leveler series, which takes place in the First Law world, but each story is its own story and follows different characters, even though old characters from the other books do make appearances, and you kind of have to read them in order to not get spoiled for previous things. I also have a hold on the audiobook at my library because I do like both physically reading and audiobooking Abercrombie's books. But in Red Country, we're following a character named Shy South, and Shy really wanted to put her past behind her. She has kind of a bloody past, but she wants to get her family back. So something happened to her family. So in order to rescue her family from whatever happened to them, she sets off with her stepfather and a pair of oxen, but she soon learns that her stepfather, whose name is Lamb, has a really bloody past of his own. Their journey will take them across barren lands all the way into this gold rush type territory, mountains that are occupied by ghosts, and into the presence of Nakomo Casca, which was a character from some of the other books. He is an infamous soldier of fortune that cannot be trusted. So when I first read this book, to me it sounded like it had kind of like a Wild West type vibe to it, and then we have Casca, you know, that character and just how he is. So I'm sure this book is going to be typical Abercrombie style, bloody, ruthless characters that have no grace or mercy, and it'll be a lot of fun to read, so I'm looking forward to buddy reading this one. Next, we have The Traitor by Anthony Ryan. This is the 3rd book in the Covenant of Steel series, and I think this might be the final installment. I'm not really sure. All of his other series are 3 books, and then just reading the synopsis on the back, it takes place during the last battle, which kind of sounds like a conclusion to me. But we're following Alwyn still, and Alwyn was born a bastard, raised an outlaw, and now he is a knight and advisor to Eveline Corlin. Together, Alwyn and Eveline have won countless battles. They have brought together this fractured kingdom, but as time goes on, Alwyn starts to not trust Eveline. She's not necessarily the woman that he thought he knew, and she's taken on kind of this manic fervor towards her cause that makes her actions unpredictable. Eveline is known as a saint. She's a religious figure, and she claims to know when the end of the world is going to be, and she is very persuasive, and a lot of people decided to join her cause. And of course, that threw all of the kings and all of that off because they have this woman who's kind of causing an uprising in their kingdoms, and she has a large following. And in this final book, the kingdom is bracing itself for its final battle, where Alwyn has to decide where his loyalties lie once he kind of learns the truth of the situation about everything that's going on. So I think this will be an epic conclusion. I think it will answer a lot of questions about what was revealed at the end of the last book, and I'm super excited to get to this one too. Next, we have the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson. This is Secret Project number 2. So it follows a man from our current time who awakens in a clearing, and it's medieval England. So somehow he has time traveled and he has no memories of how he got there, who he is. And there's actually a group of people from his own time that are chasing him through medieval England, and he doesn't know why. So he has to make friends and rely on the locals and get his bearings in medieval England as he's trying to figure out what's going on. The only thing that's helping him is fragments of this guide called the Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England. So he has to kind of piece together the fragments of this book and see how that information can help him get out of medieval England and back to his own time alive and well. Next, we have House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I picked this book up used from my local bookstore because I've heard that it has a creep factor about it. Never read anything by this author, and it is fairly short, less than 300 pages. So I thought it would be a good book to tack on in August because I have so many dense fantasy books planned, and also because fall is right around the corner and I like reading creepy atmospheric books around that time of the year, so this would just fit right in. In this book, we're following a character named Iris Hollow and her two sisters, and these are very strange children. When they were young, they actually disappeared for an entire month, came back, and had no memory of where they had been. And not only that, but their appearances began to change. They had blue eyes that turned black, they had dark hair that turned white. So just something strange was going on with these children. Not only that, but because of everything that surrounded them and their mysterious disappearance and reemergence, the girls have kind of, I don't want to say become famous, but people know their story. Fast forward several years, Iris is now 17, and all she's focused on is graduating high school and building a life for herself. One day, Iris's sister goes missing, so she and her other sister decide to try and figure out what the heck happened to her. As these two girls delve deeper into the mystery of Gray's disappearance, they start to learn about exactly what happened to them when they were children, when they went missing for that entire month, and they start to learn that they're involved in something supernatural, and they're not the only ones investigating Gray's disappearance. I'm excited to get into this book. It sounds right up my alley, creepy, mysterious, supernatural, and hopefully I can get to it in the month of August. And lastly, we have The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. This is a classic thriller mystery, and I know for a fact I'm not going to read this entire book in the month of August, so I'm thinking about spreading it out over August and September because it is very dense, and classics tend to have more antiquated language, and it takes me a little while to read the content. But this is a book that I've wanted to read for the longest time. It's the perfect time of the year to read it, so I think I'm just going to dive in and read it slowly. But this book follows a painter named Walter Hartwright, and one night he is visited by this ghost, dressed all in white, who is desperate to share a dark secret with him. The next day, Hartwright, who is not only a painter but an art teacher and has a couple of pupils, decides to share what happened to him and that this ghost appeared to him. And all of them decide to go into cahoots with one another and investigate what happened to this woman. And it leads them into a world of crime, kidnapping, and poisoning. All right, you guys, that is it for my August TBR. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you've thought of them or what you plan on reading in the month of August. And I will see y'all in another video soon. Goodbye!